class. So today I'm going to do a lemon, blueberry and almond cake. They're really yummy, light, moist, delicious and quite quick to make too. So these are adapted from Yotam Ottolenghi's book and I love them, they're very good. So let me start by showing you what you need. Right, so for today's recipe you need 190 grams of diced butter at room temperature, 190 grams of caster sugar, 190 grams of ground almonds, 45 grams of plain flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, 4 eggs and a lemon. Also the blueberries, I recommend about 200 grams. I've only got 170 here, but that'll be fine. So to start, I'm going to kick off with putting my butter, which has been sitting out at room temperature for about an hour or so, and my caster sugar in my trusted mixer. And I'm going to cream this at a low speed until light and fluffy. So while this is been mixing away, I've grated my lemon zest and I'm gonna pop that in now. And I've also then got my eggs. So I want to beat those together ever so slightly. And I'm going to slowly mix them into the butter mixture until it's nicely emulsified all together. And I'll show you what that looks like at the end. So I've had this mixing on low for about 5 or 6 minutes whilst I've been pouring in the eggs a little bit at a time. And you want to make sure as well you're scraping down the sides of the bowl like intermittently every couple of minutes to get the smoothest, most emulsified mixture that you can. So a bit of patience, take your time and add your eggs very slowly. So I'm adding the last bit of the eggs here. Last bit of the eggs. I'm going to scrape down the bowl one last time, so right into the corners, and then scrape down the paddle. And this is really important for any cake making. This isn't specific to the recipe, but adding your eggs slowly and really making sure that you scrape down the sides and it's nice and emulsified. This is an important skill for any cake making. Right, so the noisy bit is over. Take it out, show you that what I'm left with. You know, it's a little bit, I suppose it is a little lumpy, kind of like a weird custard, but it's not split, it's emulsified, okay? So, finished with the machine. And then I'm going to fold through this, your flour and your almond mix. You can fold through this by hand. Nice turning motion. Just gonna get myself a whisk to make sure I get out all those last little lumps. So that's where we are now. Lovely. Now, because of the ground almonds, it's not an entirely smooth texture like a normal cake batter. So that's where you need to be careful to ensure those tiny lumps are ground almonds and not lumps of butter, which is why we spent so long mixing. So there we go. that is our cake batter, ready to go in the tin. So I've got my ready lined baking tray. This is like a brownie tray. I think it's about 30 centimeters by 20. You could do them in like mini silicone muffin molds as individual cakes, and that would be really good. But I'm at my mum's at the moment. I don't have all my baking tins, so I'm using her brownie tin. So I chose a brownie tin because it's wide and not too deep, so the bake for the cake will still be quite short, which, you know, I always like baking things in little muffin molds or individual molds if I can, because it saves such a huge amount of time for you waiting for the cake to cool, and you can crack on and ice it, and also it looks really pretty. But today we're doing a brownie tin, so it should bake reasonably quickly and make a nice little portion size. So I've got all of it in the tin like this, and then about half your blueberries, not all of them, I'm just gonna dot them around generously. So I've got a nice even coverage of blueberries. Can poke some of them in, not all of them. The cake will rise around them, so they'll be great anyway. And again, I forgot to mention, but the oven is set at 180, and I'll put them in now. Okay, so my lemon blueberry cakes have had about 25 minutes. So let's see if they're cooked. Looks good to me. And I'll show you what you're looking for to see that it's cooked. So, just coming away from the baking sheet on the edge. And if you pop in a knife, like this, it comes out clean. So the cake batter's cooked. And also when you press it, it's got a nice spring to it. So I'm gonna leave it to cool on the baking rack. And meanwhile, I'm gonna show you how to make the icing sugar dressing. So you don't, not dressing, but icing. So you don't have to do icing for it. It'd be lovely plain with, you know, just served warm. You could have it with some creme fraiche or some Greek yogurt as a pudding. It'd be delicious. But I'm going to do an icing for it. So what I like to do is I've got 160 grams of icing sugar here, and then I've got the blueberries that were left over, which I'm going to actually microwave. Now the blueberries, I think it's about 60 grams that I had left over. So I put 100 grams in the cake, and then I had 60 grams left over, which I'm gonna microwave. And I'm gonna add them to this to give it a little bit of color. So I've microwaved the blueberries for about 40 seconds, and as you'll see, it's kind of like a little jam, very hot. And then I'm going to pour them in a sieve over my icing sugar. Press them through so you get this amazing colour, which brings a bit of joy on a grey day like today. But yeah, it gives an amazing colour to the icing, and if I need to, I'll add some lemon juice as well for flavour, but I think the pink icing is quite good fun, quite cheering. Okay, so I'll leave it there. So you get your whisk. You must always sieve the icing sugar before you use it, because those lumps can be so hard and so difficult to get out otherwise. So here you can see I've got this gorgeous bright pink icing, all natural, no additives, just blueberries. And when the cake is cooled, I'm going to spread it all over on top, and I'll show you how to do that. So I flipped the cake onto my cooling rack. Take off this, and very gently I'm going to peel away the baking sheet. Let's give this a little mix. And then it's quite good to pop a tray underneath to catch all of your blueberry juice. Otherwise it'll be quite messy. So if you have one of these utensils, they're very good for the spreading. Pour it all down the middle, just like this. And then you just want to spread very gently. Don't be too vicious with this, and don't be too pedantic about getting to all the corners, because it will naturally just spread by itself. And so there we have it. Blueberry, lemon and almond cake with a terrifically colourful blueberry icing. So let me know how you get on with yours, and I'll see you for the next video. Thanks, bye!